Colchester.
Yeah, Chessington World of Adventures.
I've never been to Chessington World of Adventures. What's the other one down south, though? There's another big one.
I was going to go Out and Taz, but I don't know if that's down south. It's just, that's the other big one. Or you've got Southend on Sea.
No. Is it Gulliver's? Is that down south?
I think so. I've never been there.
I've just realised precisely 0.5% of the audience of this show is in the UK and has any idea what we're talking about. So we'll behave ourselves. We'll drop that quick sharp. Okay, what do I want to unlock here? Weight redistribution, because I have a lot of weight to redistribute. That's the other thing. I have to get back to working out, Simon. I really do.
What's working out?
So it's this thing. I mean, the problem is I think I'm allergic to it, right? So you move around in order to burn more calories than you eat. But I honestly think I'm allergic to it because I go all red, like I've got a rash, and I sweat, and my breath gets really difficult. So I've always avoided it, obviously, because it's unpleasant. But I made quite a gargantuan effort to lose my beer belly. But it's starting to creep back in now, and I think partly to blame. He says as he holds a glass full of beer and Red Bull. Just pretend that didn't happen. Aside from all the beer and Red Bull, my diet isn't actually that bad, so I'm trying to figure out what it could be, and I think it's more the fact that I haven't been moving, because, I mean, who has the time? I can't be arsed. So, maybe that could be my birthday gift to myself, not having a heart attack at 42. Thing is, when I was younger, I used to love running. I used to run 2 miles every day after work. That was a ritual for me. Put my music in, run 2 miles, fine. But now, the idea actually makes me want to physically be sick. And also, I'm there's a guy at work. I actually work for him now, who keeps trying to get me to sign up to these 30k runs that he does, and he's like, "Come on, we'll train together." I was like, "No, no, you're unhinged. You're unhinged. There's a reason we don't run everywhere that we go, and that's because it makes you feel bad and sore. Nature's giving you a very strong signal there." So I will take no part in this depravity, but the problem is everything has a price, and now I'm starting to get a little bit fat. What's more concerning me is that I think I might be beginning to develop breasts, and that would be unacceptable.
I have had those for many a year.
I mean, I like them very much. I just don't want any of my own. I don't think it's a good look for me. So, yeah, that's another thing on the list of things I should be doing, which I'm not. Like studying tonight, which I'm also not doing.
Okay.
Are you swapping your power unit?
I
see you, you cheeky monkey.
I have to. Yeah, I've fucked it up. I'm just gonna. You know what? I know this is going to be a terrible round for me, so I'm just going to take one of everything. Start from the back, because I've got to put all my eggs in my basket, all my eggs in my basket for Brazil. There we go.
That was a remarkable butchery of the language we speak, even by your standards. Well done.
Thank you very much, kind sir.
Beetlejuice suggests I get liposuction for my birthday. It's a very kind suggestion if you're willing to pay for it. Actually, I do have to pay for something approaching cosmetic surgery soon, because I'm having one of my tattoos removed with lasers. Because the one on my right arm...
belly button.
Well, the one I got on my right arm when I was 17 is really ugly and embarrassing, and I hate it.
See, this is one of the reasons why I've never gone for tattoos, because I'm always concerned that if I was to ever get anything, I would not like it at a later point. And my other half's got a tattoo of, I'm going to say a fox. I should know this. I've seen it plenty of times.
I was going to say, it's your partner. You should know this. Like, do they watch this show? Because you're failing whatever test this is.
Yes. They probably will drop in at some point. But it's like... It's because I wanted to say raccoon. It's not a raccoon. And he calls me Osito for teddy bear or like bear. So now I'm like, is it a bear or is it a fox? Anyway, it's like a face, but it's done like in a like angular cubist style fashion, and I think it's actually quite cool. But he's like, nope, don't like it anymore. So
yeah, but I mean, like that's not a stupid tattoo. Whereas mine is, it's literally a tramp stamp. It's like a tribal design for a woman's lower back. You remember in like the 2000s,
yes.
like you could tell who was, excuse the language, a whore, basically, by who had a tramp stamp on her lower back. Because it's a sex tattoo. It's designed to be seen during sex. And I was drunk and 17, and I got it put on my arm. I was like, rotate it 90 degrees, tattoo it on my arm. Quite large. I've still got it. And now I'm 34, and it's not aged well. Neither have I, but I mean that really hasn't aged well. So it's time to do something about it. I will figure it out. I'm keen to watch what happens because I've been watching YouTube videos of people having their tattoos lasered, and it looks pretty cool. The way like the ink explodes, I'm totally into that.
So I know nothing of it, but isn't it that your body ingests the ink? So you're eating your own tattoo.
Yeah, basically. But I mean, again, I can't be too picky about what I ingest, given I am literally mixing beer and Red Bull. Apparently on a weekly basis now. Do you know, I'm glad we bought so many aero upgrades in the last few rounds, because this card doesn't feel quite as fat and useless as I am. It's sticking to the line better than my single-player career mode car does. But I'm at Alfa Romeo there, and that car is generally a bit fatter and more useless. Oh, I know something I wanted to talk about. It's not remotely F1 related, so sorry if you're here for that. Did you see that guy from London who's had like plastic surgery to become Korean?
What? No.
So like he's come out as transracial. His name is Ollie London, and he's like a K-pop fan. And he's had a whole bunch of like 18 surgeries, I think, to try and look more Korean. And now he's come out as trans-Korean. And I had to say, bravo, it's the best thing I've seen in ages. I was a bit late to the party with it, but amazing. Amazing.
Remotely convincing?
It's hard to say, really. I mean, if anything, he looks a bit like a blow-up sex doll you would get from a covered market in Real. But, but you know, it's clear he's had some work done. Mm-hmm. But obviously, it's like incredibly racist. He's like, no, look at my eyes, I'm Korean, like reducing an entire culture to some eye surgery. Oh look, they're doing that thing again where they drive really slowly and try and kill me. I saw you this time. I saw you. If I'm going to have an accident this time, it's going to be down to my own stupidity, not yours. And I will, because I always spin at this track. At some point, I hit a curb at low speed and just get spun out.
I had a interesting, not altercation, but I had someone be like really over the top with me on Twitter the other day. It's a PR company. So outside of, like, I do deal with PR companies for computer games as well, but I largely deal with them from a music perspective for a website that I run. And this person DM'd me at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm working full time anyway, so I would never have seen it till after 5. And she's like, "Hi, I've got this American artist who you should really be talking about." Blah, 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 blah. Then at 2:32, like, "So what's your email address?" question mark. 2:33. "Okay, thanks, bye." Blocked immediately. I was like, "Whoa, okay, girl." So like an entire meltdown within the space of half an hour, and then she's blocked me. And I was like, well, if that's your PR company, Rose, then I dread to think what your artists are all thinking.
I'm just noticing Beetlejuice said he saw that tweet and he could smell the entitlement in Switzerland. But like, for real, Twitter is just a cesspit. It's the worst place on the internet. Everyone I know who has quit it feels so much happier for it. And I quit it as well. And now I use it just to like take pictures on my PlayStation for our Instagram account. Mm-hmm. And I tell you what, I'm so much more chill now I'm not on Twitter anymore. And I see a bit of a conversation going on in chat here, mocking me at my expense. I'm reserving comment. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to speak onto that topic. Do you know what, right? I just want to say, Codemasters have a real problem with George Russell.
Why?
Because there have been 2 driver updates, and in my career mode, he still gets out-qualified by Latifi in both Haas's more often than not.
Mick Schumacher is well overpowered in my career mode. Like, admittedly he's like a second ahead of Mazepin in quali most of the time, but he then, by making that deficit, they've not made Mazepin worse, they've just made him better. And so the problem is that he's then like qualifying 15th or 14th, and you just think, no. And the Haas is easily the worst car in my career mode as well, by quite a way.
Well, I mean, you know, art imitating life, I suppose. As I said some years ago, I'm still waiting for Gene Haas to like disappear in a puff of smoke like a really shit Phantom of the Opera. Do you think Dmitry Mazepin's going to buy that team? Because it feels like it has to happen to justify Nikita Mazepin staying in. I mean, what I don't like as well is how far Gunter Steiner has climbed into the warm, moist rectum of the Mazepin family, because he's constantly defending Nikita, but also, like, I saw in Autosport today, he said, "Oh, Nikita's basically on the pace with Mick." I was like, I'm not entirely sure that's consistently true. Like, in some cases, they've been fairly close, but I think that's more down to Mick having a bad day than Nikita doing well. Yeah, but I mean, what do you think? I mean, like, now it has franchise value. It's going to cost at least 200 million, well, more than 200 million, because that's just the entry fee to buy it. Would you buy it when your son's a sex-offending imbecile?
Depends if you need all of that money to pay off all of the other various different cases that no doubt will be thrown at him over the course of his life. I think...
Do you know, it's very funny, isn't it? Like, people always say to me, why do you have insurance that covers you for things you say on the internet? And then within a space of a few seconds, we both managed to slander a very wealthy Russian businessman.
Yeah. Oh, I've gone back out with 10 laps of fuel again. I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, no, it's a tricky world out there, but it does, like, fundamentally, I have issues with the whole thing anyway, because I just think it is the very definition of money can buy you happiness / what you want / break all the rules, as if we needed more proof of.
I was going to say, it is true.
Yeah.
Like, people who say money can't buy you happiness clearly don't understand how money works. Money is literally the solution to almost every problem. Like, you can solve almost anything if you throw enough cash at it. You can make problems literally go away. So yeah, anyone who says to me money doesn't buy happiness, I immediately know I can discount their opinion on that matter. Like, it's not the be-all and end-all, but let's not lie to ourselves and say money doesn't make you happy. I mean, immediately it makes your life easier. Like, your bills just go out and you never have to worry about having enough money. Like, that already is a huge quality of life improvement. And that's before you get onto all, like, you know, sports cars and crack.
Of all varieties. Yeah. So I reckon that it will be bought out, or at very least some kind of like joint naming venture or something to happen, because it makes kind of sense. Whether or not they go beyond F1 and make it like a whole Haas-a-thon, I'm not sure. I suppose Nikita will need a post F1 NASCAR drive at some point, so maybe that's why. But,
I bet that'll go down well. A Russian flag branded NASCAR running around the rings of Alabama.
Trump 2020. Yeah, there's all kind of things. There was an interesting video actually on the race today that I was watching during my lunch break, where they were documenting how Haas yet again has another driver pairing that can't stand to, well, not yet again, they can't stand the sight of each other and are crashing on track. At least the other two liked each other and then just crashed into each other anyway. Which I just thought was interesting in general, that and that calls back to you saying like, oh, well, they're having to call back on Mazepin. Mazepin has made some progress, I think, over the course of the year to catch up with Mick a wee bit.
Yeah, but so is syphilis.
I think one of the big worries for me, though, is that you can't really race Mazepin particularly, because he's got such terrible on-track decorum, which matches his off-track decorum.
Oh, hold on, we've got controversy alarm. Beetlejuice says Mazepin is not even the most disappointing rookie this year.
I agree.
Actually, no, I do agree as well, because you didn't expect much from Mazepin. Like, we all knew he was a twat before he arrived, and then, you know, just before the season started, he sexually assaulted a friend in the back of a taxi, which, you know, as we've discussed on stream before, is the logical thing anyone would do after getting an F1 contract. So you're right, actually, Tsunoda, for me. Oh, actually, that's something we can talk about. Whether David Coulthard is a raving white supremacist, but, yeah, carry on. Who's your most disappointing
With that
rookie?
chin? Tsunoda. But I thought Tsunoda was going to be not great anyway. I assumed that Tsunoda was going to be wildly inconsistent, and that's exactly as he has proved to be. But what's kind of made it really annoying was that he had his peak in race one, and possibly in Hungary as well. I think he was very, very good to be able to get some stuff on there. But so what I was expecting was like an upward trajectory of sorts, but it's not necessarily happened. It's just been like this weird, like mountainous up, down, up, down, up, down, which has kind of frustrated me. And then I think the problem is that when he keeps it on the road, he's nowhere near Gasly, and when he gets near to Gasly, he throws it off the road. So then you kind of go, oh, where's that all going? And he's got a stay of execution for 2023, and then 2022, and that will disappear once Honda's power units are no longer under Honda's anything. And
well, I mean, Honda are technically not there next year, but I'm curious because they did turn up to the engine rules discussion, and there's been rumour that they're trying to reverse their reversal.
Yeah.
I do wonder if the only reason Tsunoda's there is to try and encourage them to stick around.
Agreed.
Because I can't think of any other reason you would retain him other than sadomasochism, and that has no place in our sport, as Max Mosley demonstrated. So, because the whole thing made absolutely zero sense to me. But then, why would Red Bull be trying to court Honda when it's widely reported that the Volkswagen Group are entering the sport to partner with them? And why is it every time I'm going to do a fast lap, everyone comes out of the pits and ruins it because I'm now down half a second?
I've just gone back out with 10 laps of fuel again.
So my lap is ruined. So I'm going to go round slowly, and luckily I've got enough fuel to attempt another fast lap.
Boo. Yeah, it's because if they're... So I agree. I think Honda may be going, oh God, now things are... Especially with the MGU H going.
Yeah.
Or is it K? Yeah, H. I think that makes it much more road relevant and easier and more cost efficient to stay around. So therefore, if you're already now a leading engine, why not keep yourself around a little bit? Especially as they've now doubled down on IndyCar, which is everything that the current trend towards being much more green and all of that kind of thing is that stands for everything that is not. So yeah, it's an odd choice.
I'm going to have traffic on my fast lap. Why does the universe target me specifically?
And I agree, Manor, one season in F2 was way too early for Tsunoda.
Do you know, given there's so few seats in F1, I don't think it's excusable to make such impulse decisions like that.
Yes. Yes. Oh, how desperate. I'm desperate for there to be 12 teams again. And maybe with Volkswagen and Porsche looking at coming in, we might actually end up having that, providing all 10 teams here at the moment stay about in the future. Oh, I see a yellow flag. Is that you?
Yeah, it's me. I did exactly what I said I was going to do. I hit a curb and it spun the car.
No.
So I'm in P9 now. I'm going to start further down, but it's okay because I think I've got pace. And if I start on a harder tyre, do a classic Ben reverse strategy, I think there's some points here. It's been a while since I've done a Ben reverse strategy. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I think that's what I'm going to do. I feel like I have pace. And as we know, if you believe something will be true, it will be true. That's why I have drums in my office. I believed. And there they are.
I believe. Okay, I'm having to proper concentrate.
Oh, well then I'll take over the show since I'm driving into the pits. Let's have a look at chat. Let's see what everyone's saying. Since when does Red Bull care about driver careers? That's a very good point. They don't. They care about selling their sugary piss water to people like me, who will likely die young because of it. I shouldn't say that with my better half in chat, but there you go.
I buggered it.
You buggered it too? Oh, it truly is a failcast. Well done. How badly did you bugger it?
It was only a couple of attempts off, but yeah, P13, which has now become P15, I think, judging by my wheel. I'm not sure.
Well, it doesn't matter anyway because you've got a 30-place grid penalty.
That is true. But that was better than what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be right at the back.
I managed to hold on for P10, which is surprising, given I only set one lap at the start of the session when the track hadn't rubbered in. Rubbered in.
Right. Yeah, other surprises in there.
I'm going to pay close attention in the next two Grand Prix to what cars are where, because that's going to have to inform my decision at the end of this episode as to where I drive next season.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the other criteria has to be, is it a team I have a shirt from?
Ooh, that's a good shout.
Because I do dress the part on stream, because, you know, I care about...
The world.
Well, actually, no, I care about buying Formula 1 merchandise. Let's be honest. I was going to say I'd do it for the stream, but it's not true. I do it for myself.
How's your grid penalty going to affect strategy going into the race?
It's always a relief to see your hard work pay off.
Do you think this team are performing as well as they could do?
Oh wow, there's only nice responses to questions about Haas.
Non-stop this season. Is this to catch up or stay ahead?
I think you mean how much I've been developing the car. Team hasn't done shit. Yes, the chassis department has worked wonders.
Appreciate your time.
It's a setback, but business as usual. What are your thoughts, Simon, on next season? Are you gonna renegotiate with Alpine at least, or have you got some ideas already?
I don't know. I don't know. I will probably. I do like the blue. I do like the blue, but I will probably jump ship.
Well, then I think it's only fair that we both jump ship. But you see, I have a tribal loyalty to Alpine.
Unless I can
largely
have
because of the colour scheme.
Unless I can have endless Alpinus quotes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, not only does it offer a great play on words, but my blossoming fondness for France and all things French is steering my hand a little bit. The only problem is, I know this is a team that has very little budget behind the scenes, which means I'm going to get lumped with a really useless teammate. I'm just adapting some parts for whoever inherits this mess.
Oh, cool. Protected. The halo, of course, the halo is protected.
I actually have a Ferrari shirt, Beetlejuice, so no worries. Can I tell you what my prediction for you was, Simon?
What's
because
that?
I think I'm wrong now. I saw you heading to McLaren.
I don't think
that's
they
where
would
I
take me, but...
I think they would actually while you're still at 2.5 million. But I saw you either staying at Alpine or going to McLaren, or outside shot Aston Martin. That was my prediction. How wrong was I?
I don't know yet. We'll have to wait and see. Ba-ba-ba-ba-bum. I can't give away my trade secrets to the other side of the garage.
I like this rivalry element that we've got now.
A lap of this historic racetrack covers 3.6 miles, and it's the only time during the season that we race.
Do you know what?
6 miles. Ba-ba-ba-ba.
The drivers can expect some intense
I really want a chicken tikka masala.
on offer here.
Do you know what? So I had never, ever, ever, ever in my life ordered a chicken tikka masala from a takeaway or anything like that. And
I'm sorry. What? You fucking what?
Because I go for all the spicy shit. But I wanted to see what a chicken tikka masala from an actual takeaway tasted like. So I had one last week. And I was pleasantly surprised because I just thought it would be not bland, but just like not spicy in any way, shape, or form. But they done a garlic chicken tikka masala. It's proper nice.
It's God's food. I mean, like, I'm obsessed with Indian food in general, and I agree with you. I'm no stranger to the vindaloo, nor the chicken achar, which is hot as balls.
Oh yeah,
like.
That's the pickle one, isn't it?
It is. It's
Achar.
got sort of like a pickly, vinegary undertone to it.
Lime pickle.
But yeah, goddamn, that's delicious. I might have figured out my birthday present to myself.
Oh, you're 7th on the grid, mate.
Oh wow!
Lots of
God, some
penalties.
people must have really fucked up.
Yeah, Verstappen, Leclerc, grid penalties,
Russell, Mick Schumacher, Daniel Ricciardo,
and Ricciardo.
grid penalty, and Nicholas Latifi.
Actually, I'll tell you a story about that. So I was in Stockholm at the end of last year.
Stockholm syndrome.
Head to trackside.
Yeah, and on one of the last evenings, was in a curry house,
Ouch. Yeah.
and I ordered the vindaloo, and the waitress goes, "Are you quite sure? It is very hot." It's like, like a bomb disposal expert or John Rambo. Like, I have some experience in this field. Stand back. It wasn't the best curry I've ever had in my life, but it was hot, to be fair. Like, she was right to give warning, because even I was sweating from that. But, like, everything delicious and fun, it does ultimately kill you, because I now have, like, stomach trouble with, like, excess acid and like, burns to my stomach, because my addiction to spicy food is that powerful.
I love spicy food. I can live off it for
I can't imagine eating anything else. Oh, because I'm in the top 10, I'm not allowed to do a contra strategy.
When are you going to pit? Because I'm going to do the contra.
I'm pitting on lap 6.
Okay, cool. I'll go lap 7. Mano's just had a chicken tikka masala. Well done, mate.
Beetlejuice says our rivalry has dollar store Senna Prost vibes. I like that analogy.
I'll take that.
Right, good luck. Don't crash any more than usual.
See you in the barriers.
Yep, I'll be there first. Because I tell you what, turn 1 here is the crashiest corner in this game, I found.
Yes, very true.
I didn't get off the line very well.
Wow, what the fuck is Latifi doing?
Oh! Oh, you bastard.
Is that you?
Yeah, of course it was. Who else crashes at turn 1?
Well, VSC.
But you know the answer now, don't you?
What?
Hard tyres. Hard tyres. God, this is so slow. This car will not turn without a front wing. I thought I was enough alongside Gasly that he would let me through, but he didn't, and we touched and sort of bounced into each other, and then we bounced again, and then he spun me round.
Boo. When's this VSC ending?
Hopefully not before I get to the pits. Anyway, now my race is ruined, we can talk about something else. I love it when like people I actually know in real life are here and they can see me just fuck it up. I came into this podcast and I was like to myself, just drive calmly today, Ben. Like, chill out, it'll be fine. You have the speed, you can make it work. But no, I can't. I think what it is sometimes I get lulled into a false sense of security and I forget how much of an idiot I actually am. And then, you know, the universe feels need to remind me. Now I'm going to be in the pits for like 30 seconds while they change the front wing. I might actually be lapped. I think I've just been lapped.
Maybe dropped it at the end of the S's as well, so we're doing good,
Well, our honour now rests on you.
Oh, shit.
I like that you swore immediately after that.
I've been playing my career mode offline and then making like a little highlights package. And something that I've got planned this week is to do the voiceover for season 2, so I can get that out for everyone quite quickly. And the pressure of not playing live online transforms sometimes, like, especially like not so much my driving in terms of like speed necessarily, but my lack of mistakes in career mode has been quite refreshing, because apart from a couple of terrible races, I've barely binned it at all. Which is,
I mean, it's the same for me, but of course we would say that. But I mean, this is a topic that we've brought up quite a lot, right? that actually driving while trying to entertain, or at least, host in some vague way, is actually really difficult.
Yeah.
Because it's not just like brainless conversation. Like, we have to remember what we talked about pre-show that we wanted to discuss, have to check the chat, and have to make sure the sentences you string together make sense, which doesn't always work out.
I can barely do that in normal life, let alone on a stream.
Anyway, for anyone watching on my stream, I'm afraid you're in for a boring few laps until everyone else pits, but then hopefully we can do some overtaking at the end, and that will make up for it. I just have to remember to stay off the curbs. I need a giant post-it note on the screen in front of me that just says, stay off the curbs. It's because, like, I've always done the Mika Hakkinen thing. The curbs are part of the track in some sense. So I've always ridden them, and it's been the last, 2-3 games that just guarantees you going into the barrier on slow corners, but I still can't get out of the habit. The thing is, though, when you watch real F1, they do ride the curbs, and they never spin on the curbs. So why does Codemasters feel the need to punish me? Again, further evidence that the universe targets me specifically. Did I tell you about my... I went through like a 7-month stretch of slipping in the street or on stairs on pieces of exotic fruit. but only exotic fruit, like stuff that has no place being there. So the first time it happened, I slipped on a fig on the street outside my house. And I went like properly onto my arse. And then there was another night I think had I eaten dinner or had drinks or cooked together with my other half. And I was going for a train, and I slipped on a guava. And I had to Google what it was because I hadn't seen a guava up until then. I've also slipped on a lychee while I was at work. So I was like going out for lunch at work, and I slipped on a lychee in the street.
I love how this is getting
on a
progressively
papaya.
more and more posh.
Yeah, I've slipped on a papaya. I've slipped on a cube of mango, and the most surprising of all, so you get burgers sometimes that have a pineapple ring on them, and someone picked their pineapple off, and I genuinely went flat on my arse on a pineapple ring.
Amazing.
So, like, how much more evidence do I need to provide that the universe is specifically victimizing me? I mean, like, some people have gone through entire lifetimes never encountering a guava. Like, never seeing one on the shelf in the supermarket, never tasting a drink made with it, never even hearing the word, and yet I step on one on a set of stairs, I think it was, and fell down. Like, that's not normal. That doesn't happen to regular people. So I'm working on the assumption that I was really evil in a past life. Like, maybe I sold I don't know, life insurance.
Future career move.
Well, I do need a future career move, as we were talking about, but yeah, exotic fruit.
I'm waiting for you to be like, oh, I just slid over on that dragon fruit or something.
I haven't yet slipped on a dragon fruit, but I nearly did, actually. I have seen dragon fruit smashed on the ground.
This is where I find out that you actually live inside a Waitrose or something. Hi, Andrew.
No, but I am surrounded by organic hippie supermarkets because I live in a fairly fancy part of town. And, you know, that is perhaps to be expected because I am a very fancy gentleman, as we know. Mm-hmm. This car is very tail happy.
It is.
Every time I get to the hairpin, I've already spun once at the hairpin, and it keeps trying to.
Oh wow, Giovinazzi just chickened out of me going around the outside of him at turn one. That was beautiful.
Great pass.
What position are you in?
13.
Well, thanks to my spin earlier, I'm in reverse cowgirl. which is to say I'm being fucked.
There's someone up ahead. One of the Aston Martins is going proper slow and holding people up. Oh, it's Stroll for once.
Oh, good. They must have finally got the eyebrow physics into the game.
that latest patch.
Tell you what, though, the good thing about being surrounded by organic hippie supermarkets is that I constantly feel like more secure in my masculinity after having been in there. No, because, you know, like, all the shows like, you know, Game of Thrones or whatever, it's just full of, like, totally ripped protein heads.
Yes.
And then I go to the organic supermarket and it's all, like, waif-thin hippie men with yoga mats and sandals buying gluten-free, lactose-free badger milk. And I think to myself, like, in this situation at least, I am the alpha male. So, you know, I have a bit of a swagger in my walk when I walk around there. You know, maybe make a few disparaging comments. Nice sandals there, twinkle toes, things like that. So, I mean, that is definitely one advantage. There's also, like, a place that does vegan ice cream, and that gives me similar vibes. That's the cool thing about the proliferation of soy into the modern economy, that it allows the average man on the street to get sort of Arnold Schwarzenegger vibes.
I was at went out for a day trip to Cambridge a couple of weeks ago. Literally,
ooh, aren't we
actually.
la-di-da?
I know. Well, it's halfway between Harlow and Essex, where I live, and Peterborough, where my other half is. So it makes a nice little stop out. But so for the very first time, we went to what I describe as traditional Shoreditch shit show cafe. And by that, I mean it's... Oh, I think I was meant to pit. Oh, shit. Never mind. We'll go round again. By that, I mean, like, everyone was having, like, oh, I'll have the soy latte. And, like, you can't have seats. It's all, like, massive distressed wood benches. And, like, all the waitresses couldn't actually carry more than one pot of tea between four of them.
I don't think you're allowed to say waitresses anymore, Simon. I think it's people who wait on tables.
Oh, actually, no, that's a good shout, because although they were all women, there was one guy in the kitchen who just seemed like to be shouting just lots at all of the waitress and waiters on the desks and everything. But it was because all of their orders were like proper hippie, so it was like people were coming out with just a poached egg with some pepper on. I'm like, why have you gone to a cafe and ordered just that? I was angered.
Well, that's because you and I are becoming the new old men, right?
I know.
Like, you know, how I firmly believe no good music has been released since 1998. It's the circle of life. And I'm afraid it's all downhill from here as we've become more befuddled and annoyed and confused and angry at the world not being as we hoped it would be.
Does this mean I'm going to vote Conservative?
Oh yeah, you're at most 5 years away from voting Tory. I guarantee it.
Tell me it's not so.
One day you'll be watching TV and it'll come on and it'll go. You'll say something and you'll be so old you go, do you know what? He's right. I don't think gays should get married. And you'll start voting Tory. You'll look at your boyfriend and go, he's right. We shouldn't be allowed to marry.
Get back in your closet, wench. Yeah.
Do you think life's a bit too comfortable for us now? Maybe. I really think we could do with some more shame just to keep us humble.
I bought us a 2-bedroom house so that you can sit in the spare room and call it shame.
Yeah, we're going to tell everyone we're platonic life partners.
Yes.
We're just friends. I met him at badminton. We're saving on the rent.
The only sling for you is when someone breaks your ribs. Sorry.
I'm trying to find a part of the track where I can check chat because the high quality of the chat the last few weeks has been superb. So I don't want to neglect it. I really don't. But I don't have a pit stop break now because I was insolent enough to crash at the start. I think the gap to the cars in front is so massive that I'm actually not going to catch anyone up. But that's okay. May as well finish my Alpine career the way I began it, with embarrassment and alienation and failure.
Oh, there's nice carnage going on ahead, and this is going to help me. Yes. Gasly into the pits for a front wing change. Don't mind if you do. And that is Raikkonen coming out behind. Yes.
Oh, Canaanite is here, and apparently a mate of his thinks goat's milk is vegan. It's an easy mistake to make, because anything that isn't proper milk just sounds from the realm of the absurd hippie.
What animal what would be the weirdest
hold on,
animal?
we're getting into high quality chat here. Everyone brace yourselves. Go on. What animal?
What animal would you still drink milk from, but also be like the most disgusted by to try?
Oh, now that is an excellent question.
Like gnat's milk or something.
Well, I know some places they're trying to market cockroach milk, but that is a bridge too far for me.
Apocalypse dinners.
Well, they were on TV and they were saying, well, you know, it's very eco-friendly and it's a great source of protein. It's like, well, so semen, but I don't drink that either. It's, you know, there's limits. I think I could persuade myself to drink something similar to cows, so like horse milk maybe.
Oh, yeah. Cow's milk?
Or like from moose or an elk. I could definitely convince myself that was all right.
Oh yeah,
I think, you know,
I would do that
I think
at Christmas.
once you get into the realms, I think it's a size thing as well, actually, because the more I think about it, like, the smaller an animal becomes, the less inclined I am to drink its milk. Like, I'd rather drink a horse's milk than a rat's milk, but I'd rather drink rat milk over cockroach milk. I think my rule is that it has to be a mammal. But then again, that makes sense because it's only mammals that produce milk, I believe, with the exception of cockroach milk.
Poor little dolphin all tied up into little suction cups.
Do you know, I still get upset by the fact that dolphins rape like 5 people a year.
Oh, Echo, no, stop it!
But it's true, they do. Like,
oh, that made
they
me
don't
spin.
teach you that on National Geographic. Yeah, like a number of
You've literally made me crash.
He's like, sorry, but like a few women a year get raped by dolphins. Or like attempted dolphin
There's
rape.
this vision of this dolphin just like getting out its fin and like round the face. Stop it now!
I prefer to think of it more like, can I buy you a drink? Don't mind the fizz. Yeah. I think dolphins are too intelligent to go in brute force. But still, like, the whole thing is very disturbing to me. And it's like that thing, like, you eat so many spiders in a year.
I woke up with one on my lap earlier. Hi, Preston. Oh, that's so... I was just about to go for 7th position when that happened.
Don't blame me, blame the dolphins. I'm just reporting it. I'm just like the Fox News of the animal world.
Fox News of the... Oh, dear. Oh, I've just... Ah, you twat, Simon.
I mean, why had you not heard about it till now? It can only possibly be a government-backed cover-up.
Up to speed now. Let's get some heat into those tyres.
What was the other one I learned the other day? Oh, mosquito eggs are 1/3 made up by human blood. So, like, you are basically a third parent, in a sense.
Oh my god. How's that happen? Oh, is that because they've sucked so much of us off? I'm sure there's a better way
you might want to rephrase that. Might want to rephrase that sentence.
Juicy.
Then again, compared to everything else we've already said this evening, maybe it's not actually that bad. My hairdresser becoming a prison guard is becoming a bit more of an inconvenience because my hair is now so long that it's tickling the underside of my nose occasionally, or my top lip. And I'm having to like drive and scratch my face at the same time, which before I had a face cam, no one would know I was doing, but now I have to explain it so people don't think I'm completely insane. Oh, I'm in a race, that's not good, and I've got a power unit issue. Can't believe I'm racing for 17th. That's like going on blind date and choosing between Anne Widdecombe, Vanessa Feltz, and the woman who did the Stanner Stairlift adverts, the one who's dead.
June Whitfield.
No, not well. Yeah, June Whitfield. You could
Well,
push
she's
in there
alive,
as well.
actually, but yeah.
Yeah, June Whitfield's still alive and kicking. I think. Sorry, the analogy got somewhat lost there while we talked about whether, again, an elderly TV personality no one in stream will have heard of is still alive. It's a very niche stream this evening, Simon.
It is a barrier. Thank you, Lance Stroll. You numpty.
I love that any time Jeff gets on the radio to say there's been an incident ahead, I know it's you. I just know that it's you.
Think about this. Hang on, I'm last anyway. If a mosquito stings you and takes your blood and makes babies, do you have a mosquito family then?
Oh yeah, almost certainly.
That's horrifying.
But then, like, I have a chimp family. I mean, that's not just my actual relatives, although you could be forgiven for making that mistake. But, like, you know, we are, what, 96-point-something% genetically identical to a chimpanzee. So, you know, a mosquito's a step down, but still, we're in pretty murky water.
I feel like this is just gonna. We might as well just name this one Furry Edition. It's all gonna. There's a mate of mine actually. Well, I say mate. It was someone who I started.
I say mate, but he's a twat, and I hate him.
Well, no, he's. I don't know. I always feel a little bit awkward calling some of the mates. They're people who I started talking to on Tinder or other dating sites, and then nothing ever transpired. And some of them I found amusing enough to keep around. Some people are quite nice, but this one kind of falls into the potentially could be nice friend, but I wouldn't touch. Like I would keep the 2 meter social distancing rule at all times. But so he keeps liking really, really bad furry pictures on Twitter. And then it keeps popping up on my timeline, which is really awkward when I have to keep talking to the social media team in government and then show them off what happens on Twitter using my profile, because I just know at some point I will be on a massive display in like broadcasting to like 30 people, and there'll be like this cartoon bear picture of a ginormous cock on a fox hanging off the end of it. Here's how you help save benefits, kiddies. So I always have to like pre-vet beforehand.
Do you know, since you met your partner, I feel the podcast suffers from a lack of your dating stories.
Well, so I have been going through some of it's through like personal stuff, but also I've been mining through, you know, when it says on this day on Facebook.
Oh yeah, the worst feature ever added.
So I've been going through there reminding myself of some of my bad dating, because people have said, can you please write them down in a ginormous book? So there is a future plan to do something about it, because I forget who I've told what dates to.
Race winners
My
today.
sister was saying the other day, she's going, do you remember that guy when you went on a date with, and he only went on a date with you because you had a cold and you had a sneezing fetish? And I was like, no, I'd completely forgot that.
I never heard this one. You went on a date with a guy who had a sneezing fetish.
Yes. And there was someone else as well who had a fetish for newspapers, which I just found was bizarre. So, but it was quite good because he basically paid for my official PlayStation magazine subscription for a year, and then all I had to do was hold up a broadsheet newspaper when we went for coffee, and then I just slotted in the PlayStation magazine behind it. So I was reading about the latest game reviews, and he thought I was doing big business deals. Got off on it. Great. This is the kind of...
Beetlejuice says you need to either break up with your partner or open your relationship for the good of the podcast.
Oh, I'm disappointed. I was going to get points, and then the dolphin rape story ruined. It raped my race.
But that's the lie I tell myself constantly. Like,
Wasn't my fault.
I'm going to get points. It wasn't my fault. Honest governor, I'm a good boy. You didn't do nothing.
But if a pregnant woman goes underwater, isn't that a human submarine? What? I'm so confused with this chat.
We're getting very philosophical tonight. Yes, technically it is.
If the Beatles were there, would it be a yellow submarine? Oh, Claire's asking you questions in a press interview.
Yeah, she's asking me why I crashed so much, and unfortunately the option to say, well, because I'm a stupid idiot, didn't show up. I'm waiting for technology to get to the point where I can answer these questions verbally and have the AI respond. That would be so good. I could just go, well, Claire, as we know, I'm a massive twat, and today was no different. I thought I was driving all right, but then I made an anecdote about dolphins raping people, and then I crashed it. Because that's what I do.
Right, I must get 10th place in Brazil. Must happen.
Yes, you have 0 points on the board.
I've never been... Well, I've had pointless life, but I've never been pointless probably since our proper back of the grid days.
Do you know, if I don't score in this race, this is exactly the same as our 2019 season at Toro Rosso. Do you remember? I won the first race and then crashed in every single race that followed. And I ended the season with exactly 25 points. And the same thing's going to happen here. I can feel it.
Can
Right.
you feel it?
I'm going to use the weekly resources that are about to come in
Okay.
to do the thing with the thing. You know what I mean? Prepare for the regulation changes. Just in case I end up having to stay here. Because bear in mind, everyone, just because I approach another team doesn't mean they will sign me, and I may end up being stuck
That's true.
at Alpine. And you no longer have to agree a contract on day one. Like, you can run time forward, and I've just stopped the time there, Simon, so I can do the thing. So you have like a transfer window, and you just have to
Hope for the
agree a
best.
deal in that time.
Ooh, Preston's just popped in the chat. It might be an old discussion, but who do you guys think was at fault in Monza? Ooh.
That's a very good question.
Oh, it's just a side pod turning veins left. That's cool.
That's a good question. What's your take, Simon?
60,
He doesn't have one, ladies and gentlemen.
65 Verstappen, 35 Hamilton.
See, I'm not sure. Like,
Because Verstappen should have done a Hamilton and Bale, but chose to stick it there. And Hamilton, whenever he's had the chance to stick it there, Hamilton refuses to not